Hi guys, Bran here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of crows. And before we get anywhere, before we get too far, you've probably seen this video before because they've talked mostly about how you can use crows to track where survivors are far away by seeing them fly up above the trees. While we will briefly touch on that, that is not the main purpose of the video. We're going to be talking about something else entirely that a lot of people don't even think about and don't even consider. So if you think, wow, this video's been made to death. Nope, there's another caveat here. Another caveat here that a lot of people don't seem to be really utilizing that I really want to point out, and it's hopefully a new skill with killer that will help you improve your killer game. So like I said, the biggest power that crows give you is the ability to track survivors far away. You see them when a survivor is walking and not crouching, they will disturb the crows and they will fly up into the air. If you look for these, especially at the beginning of the game, far away in the map, you could have a better idea of where survivors have spawned and go to them early, because I feel like a lot of the reason that budding killer mains don't really do well in their matches is because they don't know where to go at the beginning of their matches, so they wander just somewhere randomly, and then gens get done because they spend more time having to track survivors at the beginning than actually playing the video game. So while this is a very, very obvious thing for a lot of people don't have that skill, so that still is a very, very powerful thing about crows I wanted to cover right away. Now we're going to get on to the important part. We're going to get on to the true power of crows, the biggest power of crows that I like to use the most, that I don't see a lot of people take a lot of advantage of, so I'm going to pass that on to you. Scratch marks are annoying. Scratch marks are the easiest way to track survivors that are close to you. But scratch marks, as you have probably found out, are incredibly dumb and incredibly annoying. They are incredibly finicky and don't often function right, especially on indoor maps. On top of this, good survivors will be able to mix in walking motions to intentionally throw off where the scratch marks go and confuse you. And survivors do that on purpose. It's not an accident, I promise. I have watched some survivor mains that play this game religiously. They do intentionally mix in walking and go weird places to throw the scratch marks in weird places to get you confused on purpose, making them even harder to track. However, the way you get around that very, very annoying gameplay, whether it comes from the game being finicky or the survivor intentionally misleading you on purpose, is to use the crows that are around the map. If you know a crow usually sits in a certain spot, whether it be on top of a rock, on top of a box, whatever it happens to be, you can look at that and see that later and go, wait, there's a crow that usually sits there and it's not sitting there anymore. So that tells you one of two things. You disturbed it when you weren't looking. But two, which is the more important part, is that someone else disturbed that crow. Someone else has made that crow fly up very recently. So a survivor has recently been in this area and may still be in this area. I think the situations where this helps me the most is where someone is trying to greet a gen that's almost finished or get an unhook, very, very quick unhook save by hiding nearby. For the example with the gen situation, somebody will be working on a gen, they'll hear your terrorists and they'll try to walk away. They'll try to either walk or run away. And then you come up and you're looking around the gen. You're trying to figure out, well, where did this person go? The gen wasn't doing it itself. It wasn't a ghost. And you can't find them because let's say it's like Yamaoka, right? There's plenty of bamboo and bushes to go hide in, right? That's very frustrating. So you can't find anything, but bam, you look over, you look around for the crows. You look around for the crows that usually hang out and sit around. And you think to yourself, wait, there's not a crow sitting over there on that fence. Usually there's a crow sitting on that fence. And if it's gone, that means they went that way. They walked that way. So you can go check over there and bam, survivor hiding some boom nearby, or hiding in some bamboo nearby. There you go. It's a application of looking at crows and looking for crows that I don't see anybody ever do. It's really weird. Or maybe really good players do and they just don't talk about it, but I very rarely see a comment, somebody playing a killer game and commentate oh, that crow's missing. They don't ever say that sort of stuff. And I think it's one of the strongest tracking tools you have, especially in hard situations. Even if you're in that situation that we just described and you're like, well, the crows are there and the gen is close and somebody was recently working on it, that means they crouch walked. That means they crouch walked to not disturb the crows, which means they literally couldn't have gotten that far. If they were working on that gen and all the crows around that gen in terms of the tiles and the foliage are still there, they crouch walked. So the crouch walking is really slow. So that basically very intentionally limits the area where they could have possibly gone to hide from you. So you've limited your bubble on where to look around that gen for where that person is, because if all the crows are still there, that means they crouched, which means that they literally could not have gotten that far. So you know to check in that recent vicinity for this person. But that's it for this one today, guys. It's a little bit of a shorter one. I just wanted to point this out because, like I said, I don't see a lot of people do this. And if they do, they don't outwardly comment on it, which means that if they're not outwardly commenting on it, that means you guys aren't learning about this good killer tool to use to have a better time in your games. So I wanted to very, very clearly point this out and illustrate situations where it will be helpful and times you can use this strategy to try and better track your survivors, because I feel like that would make your killer games better. So hopefully this does help you, friendos. If you've been in a situation like this that has helped you, or if you've never even thought about this, let me know down in the comments below. But other than that, I don't have anything else for you, but I do upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow. But if I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.